Hi guys, my name is Chelsea Borkhart and we're finishing up our third month here at Full Sail. Yay! My competitors are quite similar, but they also have a lot of differentiating factors. Some of the similar aspects are that, first off, they all want what's best for animals. They want to make sure that they're taken care of and they're being treated well. And they advocate for spaying and neutering your animals so that there's not so much overcrowding, which leads to animals being stray in the first place. They also work towards ending animal cruelty and rescuing animals from these types of situations, or in natural disaster situations as well. There are also a lot of big differences with these competitors. The Humane Society of the United States, for example, is actually not affiliated with any of the local humane societies. So, the Humane Society down the street has nothing to do with the Humane Society of the United States. They're also geared more towards public policies and establishing laws that benefit animals, and they also work towards rescuing animals from dangerous situations and fighting cruelty. The ASPCA also has nothing to do with local SPCAs in the area. They are more suited for investigating cruelty situations and bringing people to justice who may have committed some of these crimes towards animals. They break up dog fighting. They try and also set guidelines as far as farming is concerned, whether or not the animals are treated well, being fed properly, having areas to roam and to graze. That's one of the big things that the ASPCA tries to work with. The Michigan Animal Rescue League is another rescue that's in the Michigan area. They are more geared towards rehabilitation as well as animal rescue. So, they rescue animals and they socialize them and they train them and they give them one-on-one attention so that they're more likely to find themselves a better home, a new home. And one of the things I liked about this rescue was that they stated it on their website that, no matter how long they're here, if they're here for a long time or a short time or forever, they're still going to get just as much attention, just as much care as they would if they were, in a forever home. And another thing that I really liked was that they had talked about doing everything on the animal's own time. So, it's not 6 months and you're on your own or however long. It goes by what the animal is comfortable with, which I thought was pretty cool and very unique. I plan on redoing a rescue called A Few Steps from Home, which is located in Bay City, which is actually where I adopted two of my cats, which I will be introducing you to at the end of the video. One of the things I really liked about this rescue was that they do all of the medical care and the neutering and spaying, the shots and the heartworm and all that kinds of stuff that you get when you adopt a pet. They take care of that beforehand. So the adoption fees that you end up paying will go towards all the spaying and the neutering and the shots and the tests and the treatment. While one animal could be completely healthy except for the standard routine stuff, another animal might need more extensive care, more extensive treatment, maybe even surgery, and that's what this money will go and cover. One of the first things I plan to do with this brand is change their name. I remember when we were looking at cats and I had heard about this rescue before. My mom could only remember something about feet. And I was like, A Few Steps from Home? She's like, yeah, that's right. Something with feet. And I was like, okay, all right. So that's one of the big things I want to change. I personally don't like the name either. So I was thinking something like Forever Home with the tagline is only a few steps away. So people who had never heard of this brand or this rescue would get a fresh perspective, and people who have heard about it would, see it's kind of a more updated approach to this. So I think a name change would definitely be one of the biggest and first things that I would take on. Another thing that I really want to work on is their website. Their website is an old homestead website, which I used to build homestead websites back in high school, which is 2004, 2005. So that tells you how old this website is. It's very scattered. It's very disorganized. In all honesty, their website could be just as easy as going to Pet Finder. They don't even need a website because it's so scattered and everything's on Pet Finder. And even that is rarely updated. I checked, a few weeks, like a week or two ago, and the animals that I adopted were still on there. So, updating the website and keeping it updated and keeping it, up to date is another big thing that I want to accomplish. Something else that I thought would be really interesting was, since adopting an animal is a very emotional experience, there's a lot of emotions running when you're trying to find an animal that's going to fit with your family. You may, the target audience could be someone, starting out, a single person on their own looking for a companion, or, a young family that is looking for, a new family member to add, or an older couple who has no kids in the house anymore and wants to take care of something. This, adopting a pet spans all these kinds of audiences. And so I think one of the biggest things is to give these animals each their personality. So, making stories about them, having videos and pictures, and, telling about these animals in such a way that, you read about these animals and a simple phrase could, tug at someone's heartstrings and motivate them to come and rescue this animal. And I think by, giving these animals their own voice, their own story, their own history, I think that would definitely create more of an emotional connection with people, as opposed to, this is Cat 789. I think giving them their own name and their own background would definitely stand out to a lot of people. I know the cats I adopted had their own story, and it was definitely, definitely a factor in picking the ones that I chose.